Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And tonight we are over in Unrest with my Cleric, who is level 18, but he is very, very close to becoming level 19. He is about, I don't know, about 85, 90% there. So it shouldn't take more than a few minutes to get that, probably 4 or 5. In fact, I'll leave up my inventory there for a little bit so you guys can monitor how much experience he's getting per kill. Now, these creatures are, let's see, what is it, even right now. Most of them are yellow to red. In fact, out of all the creatures we're getting, I would say about 70% of them are probably red, because he is pulling from upstairs and further away. And we're able to handle it. He's a really, really good tank. He's doing rather well now. He doesn't have any exceptional armor on. He actually said earlier that his armor is rather plain. It's just regular stuff that he's gotten around. He does have a few pieces that are pretty good that he's gotten from other players that have just given him random stuff. But he's able to tank rather easily. Now, he's a paladin. In fact, let me do a who-all so I can see exactly what level he is right now. Let's see. I don't see it there. Yeah, I don't see it. Kalios. It would help if it wasn't constantly moving on me. Let me just do a who-all on him. That'd be easier. He is a level 21 paladin. So yeah, he's doing rather well in this room. That's probably why, because he's kind of high level. Around level 21, level 22, you can actually start looking for a group upstairs. That will be the next room that we will go to in this zone. But I'll probably go ahead and start playing some more of my Shadow Knight and Shaman so that I can switch it up with this series, because this series can get a little repetitive if you're constantly going back to the same room, and that's what this game kind of is all about. At a certain point, I mean, there's not a huge amount of places you're going to go and be able to find groups as a class like mine that is kind of requirement based on groups. I can't really do a lot on my own. I could probably get away with being with one other person. Maybe it'd probably be a lot quicker with 2 other people, but one other person probably would be able to do it just fine if you had like a tank. But it's going to be really slow because you don't have any DPS. If you have a tank that has DPS, like a monk, he's not going to tank very well compared to a normal tank, and that will limit where you can go and how fast you can kill as well, and what level creatures you're killing, which is based off of how much experience you're going to get. So ultimately, the fastest way to level in this game is with a group. And again, that brings us back to you're going to have to go where the groups are, and you're going to have to group where the people want to sit and fight. And this is one of the safe rooms that you can sit and fight in, and that's why it's become a place that people camp. Not because there's anything here specifically that people want, but simply because this is a good spot that's safe and can be pulled to very easily or readily. There's 4 entrances, no 3, well, okay, there's 5 entrances to this room. 3 of them are on the first floor, and 2 of them are up the stairs. So there's plenty of different directions. Holy crap, let me heal this guy. Heal. Don't die. He's our Enchanter. Here we go. Now I got them all on me. Okay, at least they're on me and not on him. I'd rather... Oh, I'm about to die here. Oh, I'm dead. Okay, that sucked. We got trained. Yeah, we did. That sucks. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and change my view as soon as we come back, and then we'll run back to get our corpse. So that was unfortunate. Now I need to put my spells on. Let's go to the last page. Okay, so let's see, what did we have? We need healing. Put that in our 3rd slot. We'll do expulse undead right underneath it. We don't need to endure any of these. Endure disease might be okay in this zone, but you don't have to have it. We're going to put root on. We're going to put our center for our buffs. Now, you don't always have to have your buffs up. I mean, it's It's something you can put up and demem and then put the other one on. We're going to put our gate on. I just do it at a convenience because right now I don't really have any other spells that would take up those slots anyways that are really that important. I mean, really, it comes down to like one spell, which is your heal spell. That's pretty much... If it's only going to put one spell on, that would be the one. And you could get away quite a long time with never putting anything else on. I mean, it makes your character better if you use root or have gate up that's safe, and you gotta use your buffs as well, but they don't have to be up all the time. Mez, look like that guy trained us. Oh, his yellow tomato hurts a little bit. I can't believe that Enchanter survived the way he did, but I'm glad he did, because out of all the people in the group, I think Enchanters are probably pretty much the most important ones, other than whoever the healer is, because if the Enchanter dies, the healer, chances are, is not going to be able to keep up with the heals if it's that big of a group. And that's usually the only time the Enchanter will die, is if there's a huge amount of people. So the healer could probably stall the inevitable for a little bit of time, but he most likely, unless he's an exceptional healer, oh my god, I can't speak, sorry guys. Let me get out of the way of this thing. Don't hit me. No, there we go. Yes, go that way. Oh no, that's my group. Gate. I was gonna heal him, but then I decided I would die here. Interrupted. I guess they're not gonna attack. I really don't like sitting here waiting to find out. He got rooted there, unfortunately, and I thought about healing him, and I was actually going to do it, but my gate got in the way, and I'm actually kind of glad now that I think about it that I didn't do it, because yeah, that would have killed me in like one hit, and I wouldn't have been able to save him anyways, unfortunately. And came back to kill us. Nice. Nice. So some guy zoned it, then came back, got it again just to kill us. I'm curious why he pulled the mob and stood right on top of us. No clue. That really blows. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose. I mean, I haven't found one guy or one person in this game, male or female, that has done anything like that. So I'm pretty sure they didn't do that to be spiteful. I'm pretty sure it must have been... I heard somebody walking. And I really don't want to go over there and get attacked. Okay, it looks like it's safe in here. I can get my stuff at least. And then I'll go back to the entrance. I'll wait for my guys to get here. Because stuff can spawn in the room when it repops. And I'll leave something on the corpse just in case a high level guy comes here. Oh crap. Okay. Great. Somebody else pulled it. That works out for me. Okay, let's get out of here. I was going to say I would have to gate. Oh, the ghouls are back. Okay, and I am going incredibly slow. So let me look at my inventory. Can I delete some copper? A little bit. A little bit. So 80 copper. I'm at 119 pounds. Gets me to 117 pounds. So, yeah, 2 pounds for 80 copper. And that surprisingly does actually increase my speed. I'm running back. Oh, he's in Freeport? Oof. That's a nightmare. Am I gonna lead you in? I don't know if he wants me to lead him in. I'll follow you in, but I don't think we should go in on our own. I think we should wait for some backup. You know, I know he's the Enchanter and he could probably mez him and then run right by him, but then that would cause a train as soon as it breaks. So yeah, let's wait for a little bit of backup. Let me go ahead and toss on a buffs to these people, just to give them a little bit of extra something in case it doesn't go right. Okay, so he's gonna invis up. That works. And I think, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure on this one. I think if you cast invisibility versus undead, Yeah, I think if you cast a spell on somebody after they put invisibility on themselves, it might cancel it out, but don't hold me to that because I'm not sure, actually, to be honest. I'm going to have to look at that. Clerics, unfortunately, only get the invisibility to undead. They don't actually get invisibility to anything else. And my Shadow Knight got the exact same thing. I think invisibility to undead, to be honest, I think as well, because they're part necro. Let's go in. I don't want them to go in alone, even though they can run a lot faster than I can, because I'm over encumbered. My cleric decided to eat too much, and he is at 117 at a 71. So yeah, quite a bit past his strength level. And to be honest, you know, just having his armor on puts him overweight. There he goes. So he got his back. Poor little dwarf. Oh, that was an illusion the whole time. He's actually a dark elf. That's funny. I do love their illusions for like the fire elements and the wind elementals and stuff like that. Those are pretty cool because when you do that, a lot of the time people will just confuse you with a mage pet. And I've actually been in groups where I've had enchanters in them, and I know I have the enchanter in them, but I never actually look on the screen to see where they're standing. And for the whole group, he was sitting right in front of the wizard. And I just assumed that we had a mage that I wasn't aware of, because you know, if they're a caster, I don't really need to be concerned with what class they are for the most part, other than say necro, because their health really is going to be affected by their class. They're a caster; they get hit really, really hard, and that's pretty much all you need to know about them, other than necros, because necros will drain their own life, and if you're aware that they're a necro, you know what they're doing, and you don't always waste power healing them because of it, because all they're doing is transferring their life into power, basically. So if you heal them, you're just using your power to transfer into their power, which can be really, really nice if you have a little bit to spare. Give it to them, and you know, they're able to attack a little bit faster and do a little bit more damage, because there's almost an unlimited number of spells that they can cast. They can literally cast every second of the fight if they're able to, you know, use all their dots and then demem the ones they already have on and put the other ones back on before they wear off. Yeah, they have quite a bit in their arsenal. So if you can transfer them power, really that's their only delay, is how much power they got. If they had an unlimited supply of power, they would just be unstoppable, really. But because they are a group unto themselves, they get like a mezzing spell. They can heal themselves by attacking the creature and transferring life from the creature to themselves. They get a pet, which is basically a tank. They also have a different kind of pet, which is a rogue pet that they can give daggers to, and then it will backstab. And so, depending on the situation, they could pretty much go into it and come out on the other end without really too much trouble. So yeah, they're an amazing class. They can do a lot of damage. And so if you have that extra little bit of power, because you have clarity on it, you're not having to do a lot of healing, then you can heal them up and they'll do a few more dots here and there. But that's really the only reason you need to even be aware of what they are, because if they're a wizard, I mean, what knowing about them being a wizard really helps you out? Nothing. I mean, other than the fact that when Ice Comet goes off, chances are they're going to get hit. But then all you got to know is that they're a caster and they're about to get hit. You don't need to know that they're a wizard. But if you know they're a necro, that helps you out. That's really, really loud. Dropping Droop to get a 4. Okay, so he's going to come over here real quick, save my spot. And thankfully, sorry guys, thankfully the group is you know, dedicated enough to stay, because a lot of the time this kind of scenario where everybody dies from a train and is really, really far away and has to drop from the group, that right there can be a sign for some people to leave. When people start dropping from the group, whether it's for a good reason, like a port, because you have to drop the group to get a port, and the port's going to cut off so much of your time that people would be like, why not do it? You know, that's really what you have to do, is get a port. And so they're perfectly fine with you leaving the group, but some people will take that as a sign that the group's not going to survive, and they don't want to put the time in to wait because you know, they need to go do something else or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people will leave when this kind of situation goes on, and I try not to. Even if I know that I'm going to be leaving in like an hour and this is going to take like 30 minutes to do, I try to go ahead and get past those 30 minutes to keep the group going. Because if I can stay and everybody else can stay, and then after the group is back and going pretty well, I say, hey guys, I need to go pretty soon. Find me a replacement. That's incredibly loud on my speakers. I don't know why, but it may be blowing y'all's away as well. But yeah, if they can do that, it keeps the group going, and especially this late at night when there's not a lot of people on. If the group dies, sometimes the whole zone dies till the morning or till the next day when the peak hours pop back up, because somebody may log in the middle of the night and see that there's nobody here, and he may wait around for 10, 15, 20, even an hour, and if nobody comes on, he leaves. But somebody else may pop up pretty soon, and another person pop up, and they're doing the exact same thing. They're logging on, logging off, going to a different character. And if there had been a couple people here already, they could have formed up a group. And since they're already on and they're already killing, they stay here a little bit longer. Somebody else logs on, they join the group, and now you have an actual group that's going in the zone. And as people log on, they get a part of it. Whereas if you leave and the group shuts down, anybody who comes afterwards is not going to be able to really get the group going, because it needs a few people. So yeah, I try to always leave the zone at least alive when I log out for the night, if it's really late at night like it is kind of tonight, because I do have tomorrow off, so I'm taking advantage of that and playing real late. I think it's like 3 in the morning actually. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's the whole zone is really just for us. Let me do a who all to see. So there are 8 players in the zone right now, and 2 of them really probably aren't fighting here. One of them is a 36 Necro. So unless he's down in the basement, chances are not getting that much of experience, if any. And then we have a 53 Warder, which is just a Druid. And he's been here for quite some time. He's actually just running around power leveling people just for the fun of it. So yeah, he's not really killing or anything like that. So the group is pretty small. Oh, no, he's still out of range. Yeah, that suck. I lost a level like that. Oh, he lost a level. That is a possibility in this game, guys. The way you lose a level, it sounds horrible, and it is. If you lose a level, now, if you look at this, I'm pretty close to leveling. I got about 3/4 of the bubble left to go, and we probably already would have been there if the death didn't just happen, but about 3/4 of the bubble left to go. Now, when it gets all the way to the end, the entire bar will be filled up with yellow except for a little itty-bitty sliver. And when that little sliver is filled up, you level to the next stage, to the next level 19 is what it's going to be for me. And then if you die, you lose experience. And so if you die immediately upon leveling, or if you die within the first few minutes of leveling and you haven't gotten any kills and haven't gotten any experience, the amount of experience you lose will actually drain you back down to level 18 or whatever it is before you were. And if you had just gotten new spells for that level that you had gotten to, you now can't use them. They don't demim. You won't have to go back and buy all new sets of them, but you won't be able to use them anymore. And that's a pretty big blow. And you're probably thinking, how often does that actually happen? It doesn't happen too often at lower levels. It happens quite a bit at higher levels. And that has to do with the fact that it takes so long to earn any experience that when you finally do level, there's quite a long time where you're on that little limit where if you die right now, you will lose that level because it takes so long to go further and further into that, especially when you start getting to the heck levels that require 10 or 15 times the amount of experience that you're normally accustomed to. Where's he at? Now, that guy's blue. Could probably invite him. Anyone got room for a 14 mage? Maybe. I don't know. 14 and 22? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think that would really work. 14 and 22. There's a lot of corpses out here, guys. Look at this. There's tons of them. This is a crazy zone. This is a zone that is known on all servers as a train zone. There's trains here all the time. And the reason that is because of the way the zone is designed. If you're going to design a zone, guys, for a video game or something like that, my suggestion would be to play some of the old MMOs that are out there, not just Everquest, but some of the other ones as well, and see what the zones are known for. Find zones that are known for trains or known for groups, and study them and see the characteristics that make them that way, because those zones aren't known for that because players go there because that's the way they like to play. When it's known that way on all servers, it's the design of the zone. There's nothing else that's really plaguing that, and it has to do with human nature too, because it's human nature to react a certain way in a certain area. So, you know, the zone may not have been designed to do nothing but trains, but because the zone's design and human nature mixing together results in that. So if you're gonna make a video game for people, then take into account the weird awkward nature that we bring to the table. And in this situation, when you're about to die, and dying means so much in this game and all the experience loss that goes with it, people will run to the zone entrance. And if you make the zone entrance the path that leads through every single room in this area that people want to be in, to hunt in, because the area is so small. It's a very, very small house, to be honest, as far as how much room you have to move around on the first level, and even on the second level there's not a whole lot of room to move around, and all the whole pathway goes through the entire set of rooms, and that's what causes the trains. So that can be a very cool thing. A lot of people love this zone because of the way it looks, and the paving and the trains too. I mean, people love the trains, even that it kills their people all the time. But I'll grab his corpse. So I think we should just come in. I mean, we already got everything. And I don't think this water is very deep. Yeah, it's not very deep at all. It's just enough to swim around, a little kiddie pool. Which I can kind of stand up in. Let me see, can I swim down at all? Nope. There we go. I was pointed down, and that's why it wouldn't let me out, even though it was only like 4, maybe 5 inches deep, probably. I mean, up to the waist. But enough for you to actually jump in, I think, is how deep this is. See, because you can stand up in it. But it's pretty cool. That's a nice little thing. I'm sure if they redid it nowadays, it would have little sprinklers coming off, and it would glisten, and the statue would be like 400 feet high, and it would be a, you know, of a colossus or something. I don't know, but they seem to go a little overboard on the graphics, simply because it's not real. You know, I kind of wish they would bring that real element back into the games. As far as in real life, if somebody's going to build a statue like that, it's because it's a huge important figure for their culture. So they don't do it willy-nilly because it costs quite a bit of money. And yet in video games, that doesn't cost them anything other than the person who designs it the very first time and then implements it. But as far as like building the structure, they don't have to do that physically, so it doesn't cost anywhere near the price. And because of that, they could just throw it everywhere, and it just seems like, yeah, it looks beautiful, and these places look monumental and artwork in their own right, but they're unrealistic, as places wouldn't always look like that. Like, how much time does their culture spend on making things look beautiful to get to that point where literally every brick is a piece of artwork in its own right? That means you have 99.9% of your population concentrating on art and architecture and stuff like that, and it just, that seems like an overkill to me. Come on in when ready, clearing out. Okay, like we just trained out. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I thought it was our guys that were doing it, but oh, great. So let's give him some time to get some aggro, and then I'll go ahead and toss him a heal, since we got the other one mezzed. Let me come back over here, sit where my corpse is, just keeping my chair warm. Wanted to make sure that I wasn't lonely when I came back. There's actually a piece of a page on that corpse that I left there just in case a high-level cleric came by and decided to heal us up or res everybody up. You just never know. It doesn't happen too often. You can't count on it. But you do have a few hours where you have a chance of getting a res. I think after that it drains away your time on that one anyways of getting a res. The corpse itself will last for a very, very long time, but I think past the first few hours or something, you can't get a res on it anymore. It may even be like 24 hours once you get to a high level. Yeah, the higher the level you go, the longer the corpse will last in general. And of course, I think the longer you have to be able to get a res, because I think they take that off because they don't want a whole bunch of low-level people just leaving corpses all over the place for the fun of it. Because when you die at a low level, whether you have anything on your corpse or not, it stays there. And people at a higher level, I guess they were hoping, would have paid their dues to get to that point and wouldn't be irresponsible about that, you know. And if they were, you know, then the game programmers could actually contact them in game and tell you, hey, keep doing this and you're gonna, you know, we're gonna suspend you or something like that. Won't mean anything to a low level, but if you got into max level, that means something, and so they can get you to stop it by kind of threatening you with something they know you already want. And maybe that's why they do it, I don't know, but they do last longer at higher levels, which is cool because at higher levels you may be doing some very dangerous stuff. And I've had it where I'm doing a raid with the guild and I need to go to work fairly shortly, and it runs over, and I end up you know, literally having to leave early with like 15 corpses sitting there waiting to get res because they were going to do that after the raid was over. And of course I wasn't there, so I'd have to leave, come back, and when I log back on, you know, then I'd contact some healer in my guild and be like, hey, could you do those things when you get a chance? Not anytime soon, but whenever you have a chance. Let them know that I was on, because I don't want them to stop what they're doing just because I logged on or anything like that. But you let them know, and then they will send you a message usually saying, hey, yeah, I'm free now if you want it after the group is done with or something like that. And usually I would find something to do in the meantime. I'll go get into a group myself and then wait until our timetables met up and then go over there and res. So it is nice that they give you that leeway so that you're not constantly thinking about it while you're at work. Oh, I gotta get home to get that stupid res before I lose all that experience, or I gotta get home before I lose my corpse and lose all those months worth of fighting. You don't have that in the back of your head because you know that not only do you have plenty of time to go to work and come home and go to sleep and log on, or wait a whole day and then log on. You got plenty of time, so you're not rushed at all. But it does have that imminent threat that you could lose it all, so you don't want to just die and then be like, oh, I'll get it whenever I log back on, and then a week goes by and you quite literally forgot where you died and now you can't get it again. So yeah, it's there's that sense of urgency, but not really too bad. That you know, that it increases is nice, but it's not necessarily something that you would have to have. I think you. Oh no, he's about to die. Heal him. Oh man, right at the second he died. Unbelievable. That sucks. He is not having very good luck tonight. He's doing. I don't know why. Oh, he was rooted. Yeah, if he's rooted, even if you're healing him, if he's forced to take the damage, there's this, I don't think we'd be able to heal him fast enough, to be honest. And I say we, I mean me, because I'm the only healer here, actually. Oh, I didn't even notice that. I'm the only healer. That sucks. What happened to the other one? I guess she logged off for the night. Ah, yeah, see? Yeah, she left for the night. That sucks. Let's see, what is my power at? 20%. Give him another heal. We're down to one guy. This will probably be the last heal I can give him before I'm out of power. Yeah. Everybody's pretty good. Unfortunately, he died. I feel horrible about that. And it wasn't because I wasn't paying attention. He was just taking way too much damage way too quickly for me to heal fast enough. And I could have been a little faster on the very first heal if I had been paying attention within that first second that he got hit, because his life dropped down to about 1.5 bubbles before I first noticed. But I think that was actually just one hit. Because, again, he is an Enchanter, and he takes hits really horribly, so... Yeah. Oh, no, the other Cleric is still on her way back, I believe. She said to save her a spot, so... It sucks. I hate when anybody dies. And now I'm sitting right over here on his corpse. Let me move someplace a little safer. Let's see, where's everybody? So everybody's all scattered around in this room. Usually that's not a good idea. If you have everybody scattered around, then it's very hard for the pooler to know where to set the creature up, because you will do more damage to the creature hitting him from behind than you will from the front. His AC, his resistance will be lower from the back than it is from the front. So most of the time the tank will pull the creature into a room and then turn the creature away from the group. If you're a backstabber, you need to stab in the back, as it says in the name of the title. So yeah, you want to be able to have everybody on one side to get that benefit. Plus, it allows the tank to watch the entire group at the same time. And the benefit to that is, if there's multiple creatures that he's pulled and he turns, all the creatures will turn to face him because he's had the aggro. And then when one jumps off of him and goes to somebody else in the group, he'll be able to see that and be able to react to that without having to keep changing his angles around and worrying about taunting and doing all this other stuff that he's doing. He doesn't need to be messing around with the angles of his camera just to be able to see the room. So if he just moves out of third person so that you can see behind, you know, and in front at the same time, that's perfect. That's all he needs to be able to do, really, during a fight. And because you're in front of him, that's all very very condensed down into a small little area that he needs to visually be aware of, other than the ads that occasionally pop up. But thankfully, if he's on the ball with his timing, that's not really a huge deal. And there's little programs you can get that you can run on your computer that are made for like other things, that are made for, you know, how much time you should exercise and things like that. There's tons of these little programs you can get that you can set and be like, you know, notify me every 4 minutes or every 12 minutes. So if you know what the time is, you can use something like that to kind of give yourself a little reminder in case you're not mentally able to just keep track of that every single time, or get a feel for it, because eventually you will. Whether you're keeping track of the time or not, eventually you're going to get a feel for, okay, I think those creatures are about to spawn, or every single time I seem to kill this guy, the room tends to spawn almost immediately afterwards. And so you know that the pattern that you're keeping, the time that you're killing those creatures, is almost identical, to the point that when you get to a certain point in the zone, you know that you're ready to go back. Oh, okay, hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. I had to get some drink of water right there for my throat. I have actually been talking for probably 5 hours now. So yeah, that's not too bad. The fact that I was able to go this long without having to drink any water. That should be good right there, 80%. I don't really want to do too much. He has 2 guys on him, and of course one is mezzed, but there's no reason to push it. Plus it allows me to sit down, meditate a little bit more. And he doesn't really lose life all that much. A level 21 Paladin is probably a little higher than we need. I know we've gotten away with level 15s here, so a level 21 is probably a little higher than what we need. But they're doing exceptional on his job, and he's able to pull really fast, and he knows the zone quite well. He's probably been here since he's been like level 15, so yeah, it probably feels like quite a long time for him. Let me do that. I think that's a little bit better of a picture, right? No, that's pretty much the same thing I already had. I can do it from outside the doorway if you guys want to look like you're outside in. Let's do it. I think this is too much of me and only me. I need to get the rest of the room in. But I try not to get these little hooks in the way. Let's do it that way, right there. Wow, that mob is so red, trash won't stick. Oh, Tash won't stick. Step up on the resist gear, or stock up. And that wasn't my mistake. That was the person who actually wrote that, correcting himself. Let's go ahead and heal. Now, I don't really like healing when they're outside the room, because that usually means the very first hit they get will be to me, like that right there. Let me run to the other side. In fact, I'll sit over here for a little while, and that way I can change the angle to something you guys really haven't seen, which is this right here. That's actually not too bad of an angle. And I think that kind of changes up the room. It gives you a different perspective. And I've been trying to do that in the last few episodes here, just to turn my guy away so he doesn't have to stare at the camera. It's a little creepy. But yeah, just try to give you guys a different perspective, because it does begin to take its toll on you if you just sit in a room constantly. That's one of the drawbacks to playing a caster. You guys have seen it a little bit more of me moving around lately, and that's because of the nature of this room and the fact that we're still kind of a low level. At higher levels, I mentioned it a few times, but you guys haven't quite seen it in action yet, where I will sit in one little spot and quite literally not move for the entire duration of the group, other than standing and casting spells and then sitting back down. I haven't really seen too much of that, but at later levels, that's definitely what will actually happen. In fact, you can sit there in a corner as a cleric and stare at the wall if you're having lag, like I used to do back in the day when my computer wasn't super advanced and this was a brand new game. When it first came out, I remember if I got lag, I would stare at the ground, and that would stop the lag in that area. And there were some areas in the game that, for whatever reason, used or caused a lot more issues with lag than other ones. So I would use that to get by those troublesome spots, and then when I came out the other end, I would look up and it would work just fine, and I wouldn't have to do that anymore. But as a cleric, you can quite literally stare at the ground and not see anything going on and still be able to do your role, because all you really need to be able to see is your group window. Stand up, heal, sit back down. Whereas if you're the tank, you gotta be able to run through the zone without looking at the ground all the time and be able to see what you're doing. Now, this guy's getting hit hard. What level is this skeleton, man? Red. Let me go ahead and tell him what level of power I am at. That is a hard skeleton. It was hitting him big time. Oh great, hit the Enchanter again. I don't want the Enchanter to die, he just got back. There we go. He needs to watch out for that. He has some serious aggro issues. I don't know why. Probably has something to do with his stun. It always seems to do with Enchanters. That seems to be the one spell that really causes him some headache, but it seems like a great spell because it stuns everything in front of them when they get that really cool one. And it has a pretty nice effect. I think the Enchanters also get one that tosses people into the air like 400 feet. That one is really cool looking. Whoever gets that, maybe Wizards actually, who get that. One of those two get that spell. And it's a really cool looking spell. And yet it can't really be used that often because when you toss them that high in the air, there's no telling where they're going to come down. And it can go through walls and ceilings and floors and hit people and that you're not even intending to hit with that. And it's an area effect spell, so it hits everybody you're around. And yeah, it's pretty nasty. It's kind of like one of those spells that you would use if you were intending on killing your group purposely, because that's basically what it will do. It will cause so much aggro for so many creatures and toss the creatures it already has aggro with so far away that they create more aggro than you would ever save by using that spell for damage. It's kind of a funny spell, but they kind of needed to fix either they needed to fix the fact that the aggro could be transferred through ceilings with that spell, rather than the spell stopping at the roof and the floor and the walls, or they needed to fix the aggro that the creatures gave away when they flew that high up in the air, because they will literally aggro everything, and those creatures will aggro, and it's like a domino effect sometimes. And yeah, in this game it didn't work. It was not one of those spells that really could ever be fixed. There's too many little things that are wrong with it that would lead to bigger issues down the road if you ever even tried to fix that. So, but it's a very cool looking spell. The effect on it is pretty neat. And so I may go to, in fact, I may do that. I may go to the battlegrounds and fight with some of our friends, maybe ZK or somebody like that, and do some duels with them to show you guys the different effects that they have on other players and how your armor can resist some of the things. And like with a Shadow Knight or a Necro, the greatest thing you have is your fear spell. Yeah, in real life, in the game anyways, when you're playing your group or by yourself, fear is not really a good spell to use because you're never quite sure what path they're going to take unless you're very familiar with the area. And depending on where they run, they can aggro other creatures. And then, of course, once the fear wears off, they're going to run back. So you have to literally follow that creature and attack him, and that's kind of hard to do unless you're faster than he is, with like so on. And then you have to stop and cast your spell, so you want a very fast casting spell that can do damage for the long period of time. So what a lot of Necros will do is sit there and take the creature, dot him with everything they have, and then cast Fear on him. And as he's running away, the pet is sitting there beating him from behind, which of course does more damage. Say when mana is good. So we are at 60. Let him know, because there's some creatures around. You can hear them, the ghouls, talking there in the distance. I think that should be fine for now. But yeah, it's definitely there's a lot of aspects to this game that people don't get involved in, unfortunately, and it's just like anything. I mean, there's just too much to notice the first time around, and then the second time you play, you start noticing all these little details that you kind of want to share with other people who may not have noticed it the first time around either. Maybe you guys did. Maybe you guys know everything I'm already saying, but just try to talk to you guys a little bit about what I think about when I play this game, or what I thought about the first time when I played, because it definitely is an experience. Run over here, get away from that. Oh, no, it's mezzed. I can sit back down. And I am hiding behind my tank right now, quite literally hiding. When he stops moving, you can barely even see me through my feed down there, which is quite ironic, but yet completely and totally states what my character is all about, which is hiding behind the tank and just literally healing him up on occasion. And at later levels, literally, I mean occasions, because some of these tanks are so good that they require almost no healing on their own. And if you throw in like a druid or a shaman that has a regeneration buff, yeah, you can get by a long time without ever using your heals. And at later levels, I know there's plenty of times where I actually will say, oh, I'll go ahead and start doing a little bit of attacking because I'm not doing anything else. And the group will tell you, no, that's alright. Just sit there. And the reason they're saying that is because they know eventually something's going to happen. It's not whether you're going to get a big pull, it's just when you're going to get it. It's going to happen eventually. Usually of no fault of your own, but at the beginning it's usually the fault of your own. But at later levels, not so much. But when it happens, you want your cleric to be full power. You want him, especially if he's a good one, and you know he's a good one, to just sit there and maintain it for the worst case scenario. I'd rather have my cleric at full power, doing nothing and just earning experience, than have him at 70% power, attacking and not really doing that much damage, but making everybody feel better that he's casting a few spells here and there that do pathetic and get resisted most of the time, or something along those lines. And then when a big fight happens, have like 4 less heals than what he would normally have. And 4 less heals is a huge deal. Sometimes it's just 1 heal. Usually it's just 1 heal that decides a fight, whether people survive or don't survive. So yeah, 4 extra ones is a huge deal. And yeah, it's just a few classes get to do that. A few classes like Enchanters. I would rather my Enchanter be full power before a huge pull, if I know that it's going to be a rough one. So, you might let him sit there and do a little bit less per fight. Though, he does have a spell that slows the enemy's attack down, which is huge. So yeah, he's probably going to be expected to cast that every single fight, regardless of whether he has the power to do so. But if the cleric has extra power, you can get away with doing that a little bit less often if you need to meta a little bit more and try to regain some of that life, or not life, but some of that power back, because you're almost completely out. Because the faster the creature hits, obviously, the more life the players are going to lose, and the more healing the cleric's going to have to do. But if he's not doing anything at all, if you want to skip one every so often, and have him ultimately start casting a few heals once in a while, I'm sure he appreciates it. Gives him something to do, and it doesn't make him look bad because he has to just sit there and basically do nothing, which sucks sometimes, especially until you get stuns. Like right now, I can't even stand up and cast a few stuns in there like I could at higher levels, and at least participate a little bit. Right now, I can attack him, but I am the healer, and I kind of don't want to, especially since they just sat here and waited for me to med up. Okay, I'm gonna pull through and keep it at 1. Okay, so before he wasn't really trying to keep it at 1, but now he is. And that's simply because our cleric hasn't gotten back. And the Enchanter has made a few mistakes here and there. He hasn't been able to really keep aggro off of himself as much as he probably should be. I'm not blaming him for any reason whatsoever. It's just something that happens sometimes, and you don't even have to make any mistakes, and sometimes the aggro just doesn't go your way. So unfortunately that hasn't really helped the situation out, because if you have a really fast and lucky Enchanter who either never makes any mistakes and gets quite lucky all the time and doesn't have really bad things happen to him, you can go to some amazing rooms and just constant pulls all over the place because he's able to keep up with it. As I said before, Enchanter to me is like the hardest class to play, because if you're not good at it, people think you just suck right off the bat. Like, you don't go from being okay to being great. No, you go from being great to being the worst. Like, there's no difference in people's minds in between when they think about Enchanters, because you're like the kicker in football. You know, you only get called out once in a game, if that, and when you get called out, everybody's looking at you. They're not looking at the team, they're looking at you. And so when you make that mistake, when you kick it and you miss, you know, now you suck, because that was your one chance in a game. That sucks. Everybody else gets chances to redeem themselves or shine. You know, the guards get to, you know, try to get a fumble or something like that, and they miss one, they have a chance at another maybe, but he only gets that one chance, and it's the same thing as the Enchanter. You only get that one chance, and either you make it and everybody's like, yeah, you're a good Enchanter, or you miss it and then you suck. And if you consecutively make it, you become like this awesome Enchanter. But if you're an Enchanter who makes it some of the time but misses it others, then you still suck because you missed it. You know, it's like, it's a hard thing to deal with if you're an Enchanter. So I don't have any qualms at giving them you know, props on all the stuff that they do every chance I get, because it is just, it's crazy sometimes for them. And there's not a lot of them, to be honest. There's really not a lot of Enchanters at higher levels when you're going on raids. I remember the two things they would always look for would be Clerics and Enchanters, and Clerics they had to have, absolutely had to have. Enchanters they would love to have. You know, that's one of those ones that there were so few of them that they knew they could get away without having one, because they've done it before in the past. It's a lot more difficult and it takes a lot more time, but they can do it. But if they could get one, they knew that the day was going to be a lot easier and a lot less deaths, and just better off in the long run. So they always tried to get one, but again, there wasn't a lot of them to go around. There's a fair amount of Clerics. There's usually enough that you could find one, not always within your group. Why this guy decided to sit right on my head. It's really loud when he casts his spells. Let's see if he moves. Yeah, he's still standing right there. You know, his armor actually kind of reminds me of the 13th Warrior when Antonio Banderas was wearing that black chainmail. That's kind of what he kind of looks like right there. It's a great movie for those of you who haven't seen it. I know it gets pretty bad, you know, critic reviews and things of that sort, but I thought it was a really good movie. I mean, you can't go wrong with Vikings. And yeah, they had some really good people in there. I can't believe it got I was watching that the other day, and somebody was saying that it's gotten all these like Razzies and things of that sort, and I'm like, I can't believe that, because that was a good movie. And then when they were talking about The Postman, that one was one of the worst movies that I can't believe I blanked on his name. It sucks. Kevin Costner, there it is, guys. Oh my god, I can't believe I blanked on that guy's name. He's a great actor, and I love almost every movie that he's in. And The Postman, I thought, was one of his best movies. And that's before I even knew that he wrote and directed and starred. I knew he started it, but I didn't know he wrote and directed that movie. And then when I found out he did that, I was like, oh, that's really cool. One of my favorite movies that he starred in was also written and directed by him. I thought that was pretty cool. And then years later, I found out that it was like one of the worst movies people thought, and it was Razzied all over the place. And I was like, I don't understand that, because it had a huge impact on me when I was a kid. I thought it was a really entertaining and fun little movie that I still go back and watch to this day. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why people don't like that one. If you are one of those people who don't enjoy that movie, let me know. I won't find it offensive at all. I'm always interested in hearing other people's ideas. It's not going to stop me from enjoying it, obviously, because I still enjoy it, knowing other people don't, but Yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear what other people's tastes are. I'll go ahead and toss a little damage on the guy. 92 points of damage, and my evocation went up to 58. Flash of light. Flash of light, by the way. Now you can hear them killing something upstairs. Flash of light, by the way, guys, is a spell that paladins and clerics get. Now, from what I've heard with paladins, it's one of the best spells you can possibly use for aggro. When you cast it, you just get a massive amounts of aggression towards you, and that helps out. You know, if it's one of the spells you use to pull. See, I played the Shadow Knight when I first came into the game, and so I know how to pull with the Shadow Knight. You use like Dooming Darkness or engulfing. What is it? Engulfing something. But yeah, it's basically the same spell. It's just different levels of that spell. And we just got level 19. Holy crap, guys! We are leveling fast. Wow. So 2 more levels, 3 more levels, and then we're gonna leave this area. And that really shouldn't take more than probably another 8 or 9 videos, about an hour long each. So yeah, another week and a half worth of videos. But like I said, I am going to go ahead and start playing some of my other classes. If you guys don't want me to do that, if you don't mind just watching videos of me here in Unrest every night as my daily episodes, let me know. But I think you guys kind of might like the change up, do a few episodes in Unrest, and then go do a few episodes on my Shaman, and do a few episodes on my my Necro, or even my Paladin. Go back and start doing my Paladin a little bit, because I didn't really do a lot of soloing with him, and I think I might go back to Butcher Block and maybe do some soloing over on the chessboard or something like that, and show you guys a little bit of that zone that I didn't really get to go into yet with that, guys. So if you want to see that, make sure to leave that down in the comments. Let me know exactly what you guys enjoy seeing and what you want to see in the future, because I'm more than happy to give that to you. Also, guys, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button. It definitely helps, and it lets me know that you like the video and you want more like it. If you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button, because that will allow me to do more Let's Plays in the future, as some companies out there will only let you review or even publish on YouTube if you have a certain subscriber count. So that definitely helps grow my channel, and I do appreciate that, because it is fun to do this for you. It's really fun to connect with you guys and do these videos and share that with all of you who are watching. And we're going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.